All right, hello everyone. Christian Nix here, back again. In this short video, I want to talk to you about fasting and the role that going hungry should play in your recovery. This is something that a lot of people have a lot of, not just questions, but actually confusion about. It's important to understand what you're doing when you're fasting. Here, I'm not coming at this topic from any kind of spiritual angle. People who fast for various reasons. I'll mention that, but here I'm talking specifically about the use of fasting and going hungry in order to recover your digestive health. So before I dive in, if you're sick of taking pills, if you're sick of going to the doctor and being told over and over what really amounts to nonsense that really isn't helping you, and then being given another pill right after the other pills that you already took didn't work, and if you've really had it and you suspect very strongly that the modern medical system really doesn't have anything that it can do to help you, you're right about that. And so you're going to want to stay tuned and watch this video, because I'm going to relate all of this to the self-healing method I discovered that I refer to as the pivot protocol, and tell you how all of this fits together with your ability to heal yourself. That's the goal here. Your body knows how to heal itself. So let's dive into that. But last comment here before we get started, if you're somebody who wants another pill, and some people who find my program, I guess, don't read very well or don't take the time to really do any kind of diligence at all, and actually send me emails like, hey, is it a pill? Is it a diet plan? If you're looking for a pill or a miracle supplement or some magic list of foods, right, that's going to make you well again, this is not for you. Obviously, if there was a list of foods that would help everybody on earth cure reflux, well, then nobody would have reflux, because we would all know what that list of foods is. So there is no magic list of foods. There is no supplement that's going to save you. There is no diet plan that I can give as a blanket statement. And the reason for that is because all of those things negate the very most important part of the equation, the thing that I'm going to focus most on, and that the pivot protocol is most intensely focused, laser focused on, is you. It's you, it's your symptoms, it's your condition that matters most here. We can't address what foods should you eat to get rid of reflux until we know your symptoms and your specific organ imbalance. Your symptoms indicate imbalances in your organs, what I call the 4 pivotal organs that make up your pivot. And once we know what those symptoms are, we have a very good understanding of which organs produce which symptoms. I talked about that in a previous video. If you haven't seen that, look around either on the channel or wherever I'm posting this free material. Hopefully in the thread here, someplace you can find that. But your symptoms are signs. They are signals from your body about what's going wrong. And different organs produce different symptoms. So once we can read those, once we know what those are, the solutions for rebalance, it's like we're not healing reflux. We're fixing your organ imbalances, and your body takes care of reflux on its own. This is a way, way superior system than anything that says, take pills for your excess acid. Most people with reflux, by the way, don't have excess acid. They have too little stomach acid. So that tells you how wrong-headed that approach is that your doctor is using. But my point in all of this is, look, if you're looking for a magic quick cure and a solution that's going to, you don't have to do anything, you don't have to do any learning, you don't have to do anything different than you are, you just take this magic solution and it fixes you magically, you're going to be disappointed, because that thing doesn't exist. And you should be smart enough to know that at this point, especially if you've been suffering for any length of time. But let me just reassure you that no such thing exists. What you can do to heal yourself, and here I mean permanently get rid of digestive illness, is to learn how to eat according to your symptoms. If you know how to eat according to what your body's telling you, you can just cancel out all your organ imbalances, and then all of your organs actually magically do start to work together again. No, it's not magic. Your organs are made to work together in a way that will get rid of your digestive illness by itself, and your body will heal by itself. so that you don't have to think every day about taking pills and supplements and all the rest. All of that stuff is useless unless you get your pivot working right. So let me talk now just a few minutes about what you're doing when you go hungry or fast, if you're doing any kind of fasting, what that really does for you, and why it's probably a good idea for some people, at least for some portion of your healing journey. In general, right, fasting is actually harmful to the body. For most people, you need to eat to keep going. If you have a strong reason to fast, like illness, or, as I said, and I mentioned this, a lot of people will use fasting to go deep into a problem. The reason this works is because you're giving your organs no work to do. There's no effort being expended by all of the metabolic processes inside you except the bare minimum to keep the spark of life going in you, which is why you feel horrible when you're fasting. Now, you may notice, right, especially during certain times of the day, in a 24-hour cycle for a lot of people, there will be a time during the day when you're insane with stress and the difficulties of life, and things are mounting and piling up on you, and then you have a little bit of food and suddenly you're sane again, right? That's not your imagination. Fasting and going hungry produces a strange sort of state of mind. And you can use this state of mind for very concentrated purposes, right, to get to the bottom of difficult questions in your life. So I'm not talking about that for the remainder of the video. If you're into that, there's plenty more sources that will discuss that. But basically the reason that happens is you force your body into a kind of, it's a state of, the state of ketosis is that your body is now burning other fuel sources than the food that you otherwise would have eaten. When you go hungry past about, for some people it's 15, 16, 18 hours, something like that, your body enters a different state of metabolic burn where you're actually accessing different sources of fuel. Now, if you're overweight, there's reasons to fast. Not surprisingly, one of the best ways to cure your obesity, if you are overweight, or to get rid of excess poundage, is to stop eating. Who would have thought, right, that would be the case? But there's reasons to do it, to get rid of weight. It's very difficult, right? People who are addicted to food and have gotten overweight are typically so miserable when they're not eating for long periods of time that it's not that easy to do. So don't think you're just going to charge into, a long fast. It's worth reading up and preparing and really thinking about how you're going to do that and how you're going to handle the first minute that you feel like, actually, I can't do this. If you're going to fast, you need to set yourself up. If you're going to fast to lose weight, you need to set yourself up to actually succeed. For most people, that means cutting yourself off from all kinds of external stimulus. Don't overdo it while you're fasting. It's very valuable to really take it easy if you're going to go hungry. But in the pivot protocol, what I teach and what I try to share with you in this and various portions of the training is there's reasons to go hungry in a 24-hour cycle. And there's actually a best time to go hungry. When I had to really recover my digestive health, I was also working like a dog during this time, and my digestion was already better than it was at its lowest point when I was really sick in the tropics about 15, 20 years ago. But I was coming back, and I was actually working on ships, and the schedule on ships is just grueling. And so I made sure that I ate my last meal of the day long about 3 p.m. and no more food really past my gums after that point until I ate again the next morning, usually around 7:30, 8 a.m. So that's a really, really prolonged period of hunger. Why did I do this? Well, in my case, it actually did make sense. I don't have a lot of extra weight to cut, so I'm not a big fan of going hungry. But when you starve your body of food, you rest better. If your body doesn't have a bunch of stuff going on, metabolically speaking, your organs relax at night, and you get deeper rest and deeper sleep. And I needed that, right, for the position that I was in at the time, and for the tremendous rigor of the schedule that we have to keep on ships. But also, it kept my digestive organs from breaking down. Most people, most adults, can go eating 2 meals a day. This is fine. The dietary advice that says you should eat, 6 small meals a day is bullshit. And the reason it's nonsense is because you need time between meals where you're not digesting, where your body is not running to deal with. Think of your digestive system like a mail room, right? You eat food, and now it has to sort out all the mail and distribute it to all the various places that need it. Okay? If you have a meal in the morning, you can go about 6, 7, 8 hours before you're even hungry again, before you should be thinking about food. I teach you what to do if you get really hungry in between meals. There's a way that you can prolong your second meal or prolong whatever your next meal is by just avoiding eating something big and heavy. And if you do what I tell you in between meals, it's a very, very simple thing to do. It's actually a really helpful way to nourish your organs in between meals without overwhelming them. And so that's the key point right there, which is if you're eating 6 meals a day, your organs never actually get to rest. They're always working. Especially your endocrine system, you're always secreting digestive juice, your pancreas and your liver, all the enzymes that have to keep circulating. Your blood sugar never really comes down, which is why it's recommended. But the truth is, your body's made to go hungry. Your body's made for feast and famine. I mean, through hundreds of millions of years of human evolution, the body, very often people had no food to eat for long, long periods of time. And so when food was around, it wasn't like you could kill an animal and stick it in the fridge, right? When animals were killed for hundreds of millions of years of wandering, right, you would eat as much as you could because that's when it was available. And anything that wasn't eaten was definitely going to go spoiled and go bad, and so you couldn't eat it later. So the body's made to go hungry. So most people, with almost no exceptions, you can go hungry much longer than you think. Now, part of the strategy and the wisdom of going hungry in the way that I'm teaching you to do it is, in the modern era, we are never far from food. And just the knowledge that you're not going to have to go for food for too much longer, right? You get 6, 7 hours in between meals, and you go, well, I'm not eating for another 2, 3 hours, but by God, I sure am hungry. It's like, yeah, but you can go another hour. You can go another 2 hours. It ain't that long. You got food waiting for you at the other end, right? And so the knowledge that you're not going to have to go hungry that long takes the mental burden of, gee, I'm so worried that I'm going to be so hungry and I'm feeling faint and I'm dizzy because I have no food in me. It's like, no, you'll be fine. Drink some water, rest your organs, right? The hunger signal will start to diminish, and you find that you can go longer and longer in between meals. This is amazingly, amazingly good for tired digestive organs. When you need to recover your digestive health, this is one of the single best things you can do. This is one of the top things that I recommend is go hungry for some amount of time during the day. If you put off eating for 1 hour, you're allowing your organs that need rest to actually get that rest. Then when you eat, you will be able to digest better, and the key pivotal organ, the spleen, will have more potency, more power to assimilate, digest, and extract nutrients and then distribute those nutrients around the body. So you get what I'm saying here. It's like, on the one hand, you're resting your organs. On the other hand, when they turn on and have to start working again, they can do their job better, which nourishes your body more, which means you need to eat less frequently, which means your organs get more rest in between meals. It's a self-reinforcing kind of feedback loop that's very, very valuable. And people who don't think of this is not fasting per se, it's the same basic idea, but we're not doing it in a prolonged way for anything other than, okay, we're going to eat in the morning, we're going to not eat for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, then we're going to have our big second meal, and then we're not eating again until the next day. And so whether you eat 2 meals or whether you prefer to eat 3 meals, what I'm saying is a period of time during your 24-hour circadian cycle where you actually allow the body to rest and not put anything else in that it has to deal with gives tremendous, tremendous healing effects. And so the benefit of fasting here overall is when you allow your organs to rest, they do their job better. This makes your body stronger. When your body is stronger, your organs don't have to work as hard, and you can go longer between meals. You're prolonging the life of your organs and allowing them to get back where, if you think of it like gears, right? The gears of when your body's out of whack, the gears aren't meshing. when you get your body to heal and the organs start working together again, right, the gears come back together, and then this organ is now helping this organ instead of attacking it. This organ is now working well together with this organ, and the whole pivot starts to really work the way it was designed to work. Okay? And so going hungry can play a big, big role in that. This is just one of the things that I teach you in the pivot protocol. So if you haven't started, if you haven't actually checked out the material, get started. You have nothing to lose, right? We offer even 30-day free a risk-free money-back guarantee to allow you to really dip your toes in and check out what you can do by learning how to heal your own digestive symptoms. Your body knows how to heal on its own. And if you have even just a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of a plan, a little bit of understanding of these fundamental principles, this ancient medical system that I discovered that is vastly superior to the modern medical approach to treating digestive illness. I mean, look, if you're watching this video, you know already modern medicine has nothing to offer when it comes to digestive illness. And if you're new to the pivot protocol and you've never come across something like this, ancient medical systems had a really superior grasp of how the organs work, what causes them to break down. Here I'm talking about daily kind of behaviors that cause, you don't get a chronic disease, right? You don't get a chronic digestive disorder after, a week or eating some kind of food that wasn't clean, right? You get a chronic digestive, those are acute problems. You get a chronic digestive disorder after years and years and years of the wrong kind of behavior when your body's already signaling to you, hey, this is breaking down, right? This symptom is telling you that this thing is going wrong in this organ and you need to do something. And when it finally gets to the point where it's an actual crisis, like you have acid reflux or, God forbid, IBS, you not only know that you have a serious condition on your hands, you have something that's developed over a long period of time. And so getting your organs to work together again instead of using modern emergency kind of medicine with pills that interrupt your stomach acid and block, steroids that block inflammation and antidiarrheals and antispasmodics and things like this, all of which are going to make you sicker in the long term and usually in the short term as well, by the way, right? There's a way and there's a medical system that understood very clearly what causes these conditions, why your organs break down, what you can do to get your organs working together again, like I was saying, and that allows you to actually heal on your own, not in some kind of magical quick fix. If you're looking for a magic quick fix, like I said at the outset, this is not the program for you. But if you want a permanent solution to digestive illness, then this really will help you, because this is how you get your digestive system back in shape, back in order, in a way that it will keep running and keep you well year after year after year. 20 years after my digestive illness, I actually feel better at age 50 than I did at age 30, which is no exaggeration, but if you've been through the pivot protocol and you took it seriously, other people tell me this too. I get emails. I got an email recently, a guy saying, actually, I do feel better now than I did last year. And his healing process is still going on. Like, he's still getting stronger. He's still getting better as the organs and the body continues to recover and to recoup what was a previous level from an earlier part of your life. Of digestive function and capacity and the ability to perform the way that you need your body to perform. Remember, your digestive system is the basis for every other thing in your body. Pretty much everything else comes down to digestion, doesn't it? Because obviously we eat food every day. This thing has to work. When you're producing symptoms, where essentially food is like poison. When you're sick, your food that you eat is essentially like poison, because it's producing illness every time you sit down to eat, every time you put something in your mouth. Well, that's a situation that cannot last. And so if you want out of that, if that's the hell that you've been living in and the terrible, disastrous reality you've been living in month after month, for some people it's decades long. I get emails from people saying, hey, I wish I had found your stuff earlier. I've been suffering for 50 years. Now you have a solution for that. This is a medical system that was designed from the beginning to help with chronic diseases, chronic illness, and specifically because of the central role of digestive problems. Digestive illness is primary among all of the things that this ancient medical system helps. So, and that is my focus here in this protocol, is to help you recover your digestive system. It's the most important system in your body, quite frankly. So I hope all that makes sense. Thanks very much for your attention. I'll be back to talk to you in another video.